Today we're going over every single anomaly you can encounter in Animal Hospital. From tiny appearance changes that are easy to overlook to terrifying monsters and deadly events that can destroy your sanity in just a matter of seconds. Some of these anomalies are obvious the moment you see them, while others are so subtle that even experienced players walk right past them without realizing anything is wrong. Knowing how to recognize every anomaly as quickly as possible can be the difference between surviving your shift or losing a huge amount of sanity. So make sure you stay until the end, because I'll also show you which characters can never spawn with anomalies. And that tip alone can make your runs much faster and much safer. Let's start with the appearance anomaly. These are usually the easiest to identify, but they're also the ones that many new players ignore because they seem harmless at first. The very first anomaly features a patient with oversized eyes and razor-sharp teeth. It's one of the creepiest facial changes in the game, and thankfully, it's also one of the easiest to recognize. Another common appearance anomaly causes the patient's face to constantly change shape. Their facial features almost seem to melt and reform, while their arms twitch and move in strange, unnatural ways. Even though this anomaly doesn't immediately attack you, it's a clear warning that something isn't right. So you should always pay close attention whenever you notice these unusual animations. Now let's talk about one of the coolest hidden details in the entire game. There's an anomaly involving a patient with a completely emotionless face. Most players simply walk into the room as soon as they notice the patient banging on the window. If you do that, you'll only experience a small scare and lose a little bit of sanity before everything returns to normal. But here's something that many players have never seen. If you decide to wait instead of entering the room immediately, the patient will continue slamming against the glass over and over again. After enough time passes, cracks begin spreading across the window, triggering a secret animation that only happens if you're patient enough to let the event play out. It's a tiny detail, but it's one of those hidden moments that shows just how much effort the developers put into Animal Hospital. Have you ever seen that animation before? Let me know down in the comments, because most players don't even know it exists. Moving on, you'll occasionally find patients whose faces are covered with multiple eyes. Others have twisted facial features that look completely unnatural, making them surprisingly easy to spot once you know what you're looking for. There's also one particularly creepy anomaly where the patient appears to follow your every movement. No matter where you stand in the room, their eyes seem locked onto you the entire time. It's a small effect, but it creates the uncomfortable feeling that you're constantly being watched. One mechanic that many players completely ignore is the security camera system. If you're serious about spotting anomalies quickly, you should always check the monitors whenever possible. Some anomalies behave very differently when viewed through the cameras, revealing clues that aren't visible in person. You might notice incredibly stretched figures standing in impossible positions, dark shadow-like silhouettes filling the screen, realistic human eyes staring directly into the camera, or even a sudden jump scare if one of the security cameras has been damaged. These details can catch you completely off guard if you're not expecting them. There's another extremely subtle appearance anomaly that changes nothing except a patient's ears. At first glance, almost nobody notices the difference. However, if you compare the patient to what appears on the security cameras, the altered ears become much easier to recognize. It's a tiny visual change, but missing it could still cost you valuable sanity. Another hidden feature involves taking pictures. Sometimes a patient looks perfectly normal while you're treating them. But the moment you take a photo, strange filters suddenly appear, the face becomes distorted, or creepy visual effects show up that weren't visible before. It's another clever way the game hides anomalies in plain sight, rewarding players who pay close attention to every little detail. Now it's time to move on to the dangerous anomalies, the ones that require quick reactions instead of careful observation. One of the first major threats is the ritual event. Without warning, the patient begins floating above the bed while candles appear all around the room. Your objective is simple, but stressful. You must extinguish every candle before the timer reaches 0. If you fail, you'll lose a massive amount of sanity, making the rest of your shift much more difficult. Another dangerous encounter involves the creature hiding underneath the patient's bed. While you're focused on completing the treatment, the monster waits for the perfect moment to grab your legs. The safest strategy is to stay away from the sides of the bed whenever possible, or simply jump over it to avoid getting caught. A single mistake here can cost you a huge amount of sanity before you even realize what happened. One more creature you should never underestimate is the monster attached to the ceiling. Covered with dozens of eyes, it quietly watches everything happening below. The trick here is incredibly simple. Don't look up. The longer your camera stays pointed toward the creature, the faster your sanity drains. Even experienced players sometimes forget this rule during stressful moments, making this anomaly far more dangerous than it first appears. Now let's talk about one of the deadliest anomalies in the entire game, the Skinwalker. This is one mistake you absolutely can't afford to make. If you accidentally allow this patient into the hospital without recognizing the anomaly, it won't stay harmless for long. The Skinwalker immediately begins searching for another patient to attack. Sometimes its target is standing right next to the reception desk, but if nobody is nearby, it'll head straight into one of the treatment rooms looking for its next victim. Once it starts moving, every second counts. If you react quickly, you can stop the attack before it's too late. But hesitate for even a moment, and you'll suddenly find yourself dealing with an emergency that can quickly spiral out of control. Another anomaly that demands incredibly fast reactions is the tentacle monster. This encounter only happens inside the operating room, making it much rarer than most other anomalies. Without warning, a massive creature covered in tentacles bursts into the room, leaving you only a few seconds to save the patient. Panic usually leads to mistakes, so staying calm is the key to surviving this encounter. Players who know exactly what to do can deal with it quickly, while everyone else often loses valuable sanity trying to figure out what's happening. Some of the scariest creatures in Animal Hospital don't even announce their presence. Instead, they camouflage themselves perfectly against the walls. It's surprisingly easy to walk into a room without noticing anything unusual. Then, out of nowhere, you'll receive a warning telling you to run. And when that message appears, don't waste a single second. Turn around and start running immediately. If you're carrying a defensive item, this is exactly when you should use it. Waiting too long almost always ends badly. Another creature responsible for countless jump scares is the giant rabbit. Unlike many other anomalies, it doesn't give you much time to prepare. It suddenly appears from behind walls or around corners, catching players completely off guard. Even after dozens of hours playing the game, this is still one of the few anomalies that can make almost anyone jump. But the danger doesn't stop with individual anomalies. Animal Hospital also includes large-scale events capable of turning an ordinary shift into complete chaos. One of the biggest is the ambulance event. When the ambulance arrives, several patients rush into the hospital at the same time without ever stopping at the reception desk. Instead of checking in like normal patients, they immediately head toward the treatment rooms. That means you have no opportunity to inspect them beforehand, forcing you to identify possible anomalies while you're already treating them. This dramatically increases the pressure, especially if multiple dangerous patients arrive together. To make things even harder, some ambulance patients appear with countdown timers. These patients must be treated immediately before time runs out. If you focus on the wrong person for too long, you might lose the chance to save someone else. Learning how to prioritize patients during this event is one of the biggest differences between new players and experienced ones. Another major emergency is the fire event. At random moments, one of the hospital rooms can suddenly catch fire. When that happens, you'll need to grab the fire extinguisher as quickly as possible. However, simply spraying the flames isn't enough. You also have to keep a safe distance because standing too close to the fire continuously drains your sanity. Many players panic and rush directly into the flames, only to realize they've lost a huge amount of sanity before the fire is even extinguished. The fire event can also create additional emergencies throughout the hospital. Some patients arrive completely engulfed in flames, requiring immediate assistance before their condition gets even worse. Others may collapse onto the floor and need to be carried to safety before they can receive treatment. When several emergencies happen at once, staying organized becomes just as important as reacting quickly. After seeing all these terrifying anomalies, here's one piece of information that can save you a lot of time during every single run. Not every visitor to the hospital can become an anomaly. There are a few characters that are always safe, meaning you never have to waste time inspecting them. These include Rathu, who shares important parts of the game's story, Ron from accounting, the doctor who visits after each shift, and the police officer, who only begins appearing once you've progressed far enough through the story. Knowing these characters are never infected allows you to focus your attention on the patients who actually pose a threat, making your decisions much faster during busy shifts. And remember, Animal Hospital is constantly receiving new updates. That means the list of anomalies continues to grow, and future updates will almost certainly introduce even more terrifying creatures, events, and hidden secrets for players to discover. If you want to stay ahead of every update, learn the best strategies, and become a true Animal Hospital pro, make sure to leave a like, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you never miss another guide. Now I have one question for you. Which anomaly scares you the most? And have you encountered every single one we've covered today? Let me know down in the comments. I'd love to hear your experiences, and maybe your story will even appear in a future video. Until next time, take care, and I'll see you in the next one.